Okay guys, so here is my trunk of my car, and this is a rather large box filled with movies, DVDs. These are all dramas, more or less. I'm going to list those on eBay. This one back here is full, and that has kids and some other stuff in there. And this madness here are organized by, this is some more kids here, and then this is all like adventure, or like adventure, action, thriller, that type of stuff. This is comedy, this whole line here, and then these are all TV shows. I have some that have multiple seasons and a lot that do not, and then I have some more over here. More kids, and then this is some more, oh, that's like kids, but like, teenager type of stuff. And then this here is action. Oh no, this is like, sci-fi type of stuff. This is humor. So this space here was where the Gaylord was. I have another Gaylord here of only DVDs, which was the one similar to the one I just emptied. These are all Gaylords that are going away. That's empty on top there. This one is full of books. It's going to be sent back. And then this is books that are going back. I'm getting another load in 2 days. So I'm just boxing up. I'm going to put this over here. I hope you guys can hear me. I'm just boxing up all the DVDs to take them home so I can take pictures of them and list them on eBay. Are you buying Gaylords of DVDs and CDs? No, I used to buy mixed media. So can you guys hear me properly? Okay, let me know. I used to buy mixed media, which was CDs, DVDs, all other types of stuff like software, video games, that type of stuff. But now I just buy, this seems like it's, okay, good. This seems like, or anyway, yeah, now I only buy Gaylords of CDs. So without the DVDs, which means in a Gaylord there's about like 1,500 to 2,000 CDs in one Gaylord, roughly. The reason it depends is not the space, but it depends on how much other stuff is in there. So sometimes I'll find a lot of video games, which is usually a good thing, unless it's all PC games. Then a lot of those, some of those can be good individually on eBay, and the rest of them are either not worth anything. I just get rid of them, or I put them into lots and sell them. And then there's also some software. Sometimes you'll find a random DVD, things like that. Other types of programs. If there's a lot of those type of non-CD stuff in there, then there's less CDs. If it's mostly CDs, it's more like 1,800 and up. And then it depends on how many CDs are broken or missing and that type of stuff, the artwork missing. There's always a certain percentage that have that. And then, yeah, so that kind of depends, right? Let me see. Dude, that's a lot of work. Yes, it is, Lynn. Where do you even get Gaylords or DVDs and CDs? Do you worry they have been picked through? Wow. Yes, I can hear you. Okay. I appreciate you guys watching. So thumbs up if you like the video too. If you don't like it, that's fine. But where do you even get Gaylords or DVDs and CDs? So the source that I have, I got a couple years ago off of, where did I find it? It was off of one of the local apps, like I forgot what they're called. So it was either Craigslist or one of the local apps. Oh, geez, I'm blanking, guys. You have to refresh my memory. But they were looking to get rid of sell off Gaylords of books, and that's how I started. Was doing Gaylords of books with them, and then I found out as I got into CDs that they did that they had also mixed media. So I started buying from them. Actually, before that though, I found a guy on Craigslist who was a bulk bookseller on Amazon, and he got a ton of CDs as well, and he wasn't selling them on Amazon, so he was selling them off to me, and I wasn't getting Gaylords. He was actually boxing them up in boxes, and I would pick them up 10, 12 boxes at a time, fill my car, and then, you know, go back pretty regularly. But he ended up going out of business with all the fee changes. So then I found my new source. So that's the long story of it. Where do they get them from? Oh, do you worry they have been picked through? So that's my source. Now they're not like, so they're kind of like the in-between person. I get it from them. They buy it directly from like thrift stores, auctions, that type of stuff, and I get, you know, what they buy. Now, am I worried that they're picked through? No. So that's because I've been working with them for a while and I have experience and I know what their product is and it's good. So when I get a Gaylord of CDs only, let's say, or mostly, roughly, if there's, let's say, to make an easy number, if there's 2,000 in there, there's usually not that many, but like about 1,500 to 1,800, but let's say 2,000, roughly about 10% are good for FBA, and then another 5-8% are good for merchant fulfilled, and then there's some individual titles that through experience I notice are worth looking up on eBay, and those can be worth some money on eBay as well. And the rest of them are basically not good for Amazon and not good for individual sale on eBay, and they're either going to be going in lots or you're just going to have to get rid of them all, you know, sell them all off somehow, you know, put an ad up or something. But I have the intention of opening a music store in the future, so I'm keeping a lot of the stuff that would be good, as you can see behind me, keep it organized. And so anyway, so that's kind of the process. So they're not picked through. I feel like this is so far away. They're not picked through. They're purchased directly. Basically, the guy I buy it from, the people I buy it from, do not go through it. They just sell it directly off to me. So, you know, they mark it up a tiny bit, but it's still a great price. Yeah. So all of these DVDs that I have. Okay. Yeah, because I can't keep holding this tripod. It's too damn tiring. So all the DVDs I have basically been those two Gaylords of DVDs have been sitting there for a long time, since like last year. I just haven't gotten around to them. So now I'm finally getting around to them to create the space, make a little bit of money off of them. Yeah, that's about it. Just get them out of here, you know, sell them off, because I don't sell DVDs on Amazon. I know people are going to say, why don't you try to get ungated or whatever, but I haven't done that yet. So I'm just doing them on eBay. And on Amazon, I do books, CDs, and some video games. Good morning. Made it to you live. Yay. Okay, great, Jennifer. Hello. So I don't really get DVDs anymore just because they're more time consuming. There's great money in them. I want to talk about what I've already sold from this one Gaylord so far. There's great money in DVDs. If you are ungated on Amazon, it's much quicker, of course. You just scan them, assuming they're in good condition, very good condition, whatever, and then, you know, send them in. But without Amazon, eBay is a little more time intensive. In the near future, once I ramp up, my goal this year is to ramp up Amazon a lot more. So I'm focusing on that and much less on eBay. And when I get to the point of ramping it up some more, I'm going to probably hire somebody to do eBay for me. No, I have not been hit with that. Michael asked me, have you or anyone, been hit with a partial textbook ban from last year on Amazon? I was not. I don't know if anybody here was. Yeah, list those VHS tapes for sure if they're good. I've sold hundreds of VHS tapes on Amazon over the years. I don't really focus on them now, but when I see VHS tapes in a thrift store, I always, you know, take a look, because there can be some really good stuff in there. Usually there's nothing, but you'd be surprised. Sometimes you'll find a $20, $30, $40 VHS tape sitting amongst a bunch of other stuff that won't make any money. So basically all the DVDs you see, I emptied out the Gaylord. I sorted them by genre. Hey, how you doing? Hold on, guys. Brian asked me, am I in the Midwest? No, I am on the West Coast. Brian, I am in California, actually. Southern California. You have a connection for, whoops. 35 to 50 Gaylords of unsorted books a month. Yeah. You know, I'm heading in that direction of the warehouse and employees and all that. I'm just not quite there yet. Sorry, guys. So, yeah, so I'm not in the Midwest. I am in California. I wish I could find. And, oh, here we go. Yeah, so I'm in the Midwest. I mean, I'm in California, not in the West, so I can't deal with that. But hopefully you can find somebody. Partial ban. Can you give an ISBN? I don't know what you mean. Partial ban. Oh, you're talking about the other person. Okay, okay. They were textbooks under 50K sales rank and primarily. Oh, okay, yeah. I heard about that, but I'm not familiar, or I didn't have that experience. So yeah, I'm just trying to basically. Lynn says you have so much inventory, I would never go back to a thrift store. Yeah, yeah. So here's the great thing about having access to bulk is you basically have the thrift store come to you. You don't have to go out, right? But the negative or the challenge is more like it. The challenge is so much stuff. So the good thing is you're always going to find great stuff to sell, right? Whether you're doing Amazon or eBay with bulk. The challenge is dealing with the stuff you cannot sell on Amazon, as in either you're gated or there's no profit in it, even merchant fulfilled. And I do very little merchant fulfilled. 1 second, Brian. But the challenge is, so for instance, for books, right? Books are much cheaper, and there's never-ending books. There's rivers of books in every major city. Even smaller cities, there's going to be, you know, a lot of books to be found in bulk. But the challenge is what to do with all of the duds, all the ones you cannot sell individually for profit on Amazon. Excuse me, or that don't make sense individually on eBay. There's some books that make sense, some older stuff, collectible stuff for eBay. So the challenge is, what do you do with all those books? Well, what a lot of people have done and continue to do is you just recycle them, which means they just get pulped and they just get turned back into paper. So if you're okay with that, that's easy, right? If you have somebody who will pick them up. I fortunately do. The source I have takes back the books that I don't want, and then gives me new ones. So the downside with books is there's not nearly enough profit in an individual Gaylord compared to other compared to media, compared to CDs and DVDs. Well, for Amazon, CDs for me. So out of a book Gaylord, it's going to vary. I could get as little as, 15 to 20 books for FBA, and then some more for merchant fulfilled, and the rest of them are duds, right? But some of them are great books to either put in lots on eBay, or if you had a bookstore, or you put on like a once a month sale in your warehouse, that kind of thing. I don't have a warehouse, this is a storage unit, but if you have that set up or you're working towards that, then you can keep some of those great books. Kids books sell really great. Young adult books, a lot of fiction books sell great. There's certain nonfiction books that sell great in a bookstore type setting, or a big, sale, book bonanza sale you might have. So the dilemma is what to do with all that stuff. And then CDs, it's the same thing. Like I said, about 10% for FBA, 5 or 8% for merchant fulfilled. So you get a good amount, and then you're still left with 1,000 CDs that some of them, maybe like a 20 or 25, you can sell individually, maybe more on eBay for some good money. And then the rest of them, you have to do lots on eBay, which takes time, or you just got to get rid of them somehow. Go donate them, recycle them, sell them as a big lot. If you can find somebody who wants to just buy them off you, maybe they do flea market, swap meet, maybe they have a store, maybe you want to go to a record store. So anyway, that's the challenge. So Brian asked, how do I like to get Gaylords delivered? So they get delivered. So my source has a truck with a lift gate. So they deliver them to me, and there's a charge for that, a flat charge, no matter how many Gaylords I buy. Well, although they can fit 5 in their smaller truck. If I go over 5, which I usually don't at this point, In the future I might, but at this point I don't. It's a flat fee, 120 bucks to deliver. So it's easier for me than what I did initially is I rented a truck, had them put into the truck, and then I sorted them in the truck, and then I went and got them recycled. So that I had to rent a truck and pay for that and spend the time driving, and it's far, and so they deliver it for me, flat fee. They have of course they have a pallet jack. So do I, as you can tell. I have a pallet jack as well. If you guys don't know what that is, this deal. So you can lift up, put it underneath the pallets with the Gaylord on top, and you can move them around real easy, which is a requirement if you're going to deal with the Gaylords. Otherwise, you can't move them around. So they have that, and they have a lift gate, so they just drop them off. Put them down the lift gate and deliver them straight into my unit. I pay him, easy. And he's going to take away these 2 full Gaylords of books, and then 2 empty Gaylords, and then the pallets as well. Takes all that stuff back because he just reuses it. Yeah. Is there something else? Yeah, I understand. Saying that she's restricted from Amazon on a lot of things. Yeah, books. Books are great though. If you can get access to a lot of cheap books, you can make some really great money. That's what I would recommend. That's how I started, was just doing thrift stores, garage sales, and estate sales for books. And I did pretty well. I got my inventory up to 2,700 at my max before the fees hit, those big fee changes back in a couple years ago. So books are awesome. Yeah, I know. Used bookstores. There's not really. That's the problem, which is why I want to, at some point get a warehouse space and have a book sale maybe once a month. Is there's just not many bookstores around here. Oh, Brian is saying, yeah, no problem, Brian. 26. Oh, you can fit a lot in it. So. So they're 4 by 4 by 4 feet. So a 26-foot Penske. Here's the thing: if you're talking about just one level, it's a certain amount. But if you can get a what is it called? It's called like a stacker or something. There's a machine that my source actually offered to sell me one to double stack the Gaylords, and I'm not quite there yet, but. You can put one on top of the other. So if you can do that in the Penske truck, you can fit double. You can probably fit you can probably fit in a 26-foot. So what is that? That's 4 times 4 times. Let's see. Probably like 5 to 6. If there's enough space, width, more than 8 feet, then you can fit. So one row of 5 to 6, so about 10 to 12. 10 to 12, and then if you can double stack them, you can double that number. Yeah. So the trick is, if you can't double stack them, if that's not something that's possible, you can probably get 10 or 12 in there, which is a lot. Yeah. You just have to have the space. So you're going to need the lift gate, because you have to be able to. You're either going to need a lift gate or a forklift. A lift gate is going to be much cheaper because you can just rent the truck, and then you just need a pallet jack. You move it onto the pallet jack. Onto the lift gate, drop it down, and just put it into your storage. Chris says, how big is your storage container? I believe it's... One sec. I believe it's 10... Whoops. I believe it's 10, it's 29 feet long, for sure, and it's either 10 or 12 feet wide. So it's pretty big. I can actually, if I didn't have all this stuff in here, I could fit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I could fit 12 Gaylords in here. The problem is I wouldn't have space to sort, so it'd be at least like 10 maybe to have some space to sort. That's the thing about these storage units. They're not very big. They're not very wide. So they're kind of narrow. which is why a lot of people, you know, kind of grow into a warehouse, which is kind of where I'm headed. So let me just tell you real quick. So the point of the video is to talk about selling a Gaylord of DVDs on eBay, and basically I sorted through them, and then as I was going through them, there were certain titles that stood out to me. So I looked them up individually. Also found some good. I found what do you call it? Some nice individual titles, as well as some good not just DVDs but video games. And so individually, I listed stuff as I was going through it. I would go home and list them. I've listed probably, I don't know, 50 plus or so individual DVDs and video games, mostly DVDs. And so far, since I started doing that, which was, what is today? So it was late last week, I've sold 13 so far. And gross, I made, I sold $164.24 worth. And then, after, which was 13 sales. And then after, so doing a pretty, well, rough estimate, but pretty close to what it should be. The fees, eBay and PayPal fees, and then of course I have to take out shipping because those were all free shipping, was about $63. So I was left with a little over $100 profit after all that. So that's just selling 13 of them. I have a bunch more up for sale. They should slowly start to sell either soon or over time. Yeah, video games are great. What's funny is that the one that I've sold, out of those 13, the one that I sold for the most money was it was like a real estate course. I'd never heard of this guy. I always find these random courses. A lot of times they're how to make money, whether they're real estate or some sort of business or multi-level marketing or whatever. I've sold a good amount of those that I find, these courses, as long as they're intact. This one was brand new, and I sold it for $39.99 on eBay. I mean, talk about quick, easy money. I just pulled it out of the Gaylord, looked it up real quick. I don't think I saw another one, and mine was new, and so I listed it for, you know, $40, and it sold within a couple days. So the rest of them were around like 10 to 12 bucks each. That was the higher sale. But yeah, you know, a little over $100. No, it was no, it wasn't. It was called Lease Options. I think it was either Jack or last name was Johnson or something. It wasn't those guys. I never seen or heard of the guy before, but those kind of random types of media you'll find for sure if you have a good source and you're getting Gaylords. I've sold a big like plastic case, and it had like, you know, 12 or 15 or 20, I can't remember, DVDs in there, CDs, and it was like a course that someone might buy on the off of an infomercial, or might go to a live event and buy. And I've sold stuff like that for, you know, easily over $50. One I sold for like $120 one time that I pulled out of a Gaylord. So that almost, you know, not quite, but that I paid for like more than half of the Gaylord in and of itself. So anyway, so you can find good stuff like that in Gaylords if you're willing to do, you know, if you're willing to do eBay, because some of that stuff just won't do good necessarily. Won't do as well on Amazon. So you're gonna have to look into eBay. That was the reason why I got into eBay, was because of having access to all this other stuff, the other media, and also wanting to sell lots. I haven't quite mastered selling lots, CDs and books and whatnot, but getting better. Yeah, there's profit. Asked if I'm listing VHS too. I don't find very many VHS tapes in the bulk, and I don't find too many at the thrift store, so I'm not really listing very many. But if I come across it, I'll definitely list it on Amazon. I sold one merchant fulfilled probably December, so there's definitely ones out there. But I unless you have access to a lot of them, either in bulk, sometimes, I mean, people will almost give away, a bulk source will almost give away Gaylords of VHS tapes. They just don't want them. So you could probably get them for next to nothing. And if you know what sells and what are good titles, you can quickly go through them. I mean, maybe it's worth it, but you know, There's good ones out there. You just have to know what the good ones are. Da-ba-ba-ba-ba. Yeah, Michael said it's nice with going forward with the reduced long-term storage fees, so we can finally go back to growing book inventory without deleting old ones every month. Yeah, for sure. So, well, yeah, January. This was the last of the long-term storage fees, the monthly long-term storage fees. So starting in February, basically now on, there's no more monthly storage, long-term storage fees, unless it's been there for more than a year, I guess is what it is. So that's the only one that they still have. So yeah, definitely now's the time, because who knows if Amazon's going to roll this back in another year. So this year, I would say, is the time to send in a lot of inventory. Now, don't send in crap. Don't send it in, oh, maybe this will sell in 5 years, because you don't know what Amazon's going to do, how they're going to change things. So my recommendation is to get really good at sending in stuff that sells quickly. If it's going to be a long tail, that's fine. I'm not opposed to long tails. I'm just saying, make sure it's stuff that's actually going to sell, even if it takes 6 months or 8 months or a year, but it should sell at a high price. Diversify your inventory. I say this all the time. If you're going to go big on Amazon FBA or merchant fulfilled, I recommend doing both, but that's another conversation. You should diversify with stuff that sells fast, as in within a couple, like the day it hits the warehouse, within that first couple days, that first week, and then stuff that'll take a couple months to sell, and then stuff that'll take 6 months to a year to sell. I mean, don't send in too much stuff that's going to take over a year to sell unless it's going for like 70, 80, 100 bucks. Then you can withstand a long-term storage fee. And you can build up that kind of inventory to where you have, 5 million ranked books, 1,000 of them. I guess you could do that. And then they'll sell every month. You should be getting sales. But, some people do that, and that's fine if that works for them, but I recommend diversifying. Why not also send in the quick sellers as well? As long as there's enough profit, as long as you have a minimum profit. I want to stay around $3 pure profit off of a book or a CD. So if I send it in, I get paid, after Amazon fees, inbound shipping, and cost of goods, I'm getting at least $3 clear for ones that sell quickly. These aren't ones that are going to take, 6 months. So yeah, that's kind of how I look at it. What do I think of eBay ditching PayPal as their main card processor? Honestly, it remains to be seen, right? Because I don't understand what it's gonna become instead. Do we know that yet? I mean, I honestly don't know. I mean, I don't know if it's going to be a hassle or if it's going to mean we're going to make less money. I hope either of those things happen. I mean, I've heard people complain about it, and I've heard people say it's a good thing. So honestly, I haven't been on eBay long enough to have much of an opinion. I've only been on there since April of 2017, so I'm getting close to 2 years on eBay. And so far it's been good, but I hope that the change is not negative. That's all I can say, really. How much of that storage unit inventory do you take home to list daily? Right now how much of it? It varies. So right now I'm just trying to get through these DVDs. So I'm doing a lot every day. Like yesterday I listed, I spent the whole morning listing like, I don't know, 50 items on there. I kind of went blind doing it. But yeah, I can't give you a number, but I'll say that like I've loaded up my car yesterday and I'm loading up my car today, just trying to move it out so that I can get it up there and sell it and get prepared for the CDs and books I'm getting on Friday, which are going to be, my focus is going to be, FBA and Amazon basically, to build up my inventory, build it back up. But yeah, it's tough to say. I mean, it varies. So as of now, I'm just trying to clear out the DVDs. Yeah, so sometimes I have a lot like at home I have about 12 lots to take pictures of, and then I'm processing more, and this will be a lot more because there's so many. But yeah, it varies. For those textbooks that I cannot sell them, would you recommend eBay or should I go let? Oh, we'll try out eBay first. I've never done OfferUp or Mercury before. eBay can be good. I mean, I've sold a few textbooks on eBay. There's generally less money, but it doesn't mean you can't still make some money on there. The fees are lower, so I think it's worth it on eBay. I've never done local sales for textbooks, so I can't say, but everything's worth a shot at least once just to try it out for sure. If you can't, also, I mean, there's bookstores. If you have a used bookstore to try to get some money. Brian says Salvation Army raised their prices from 89 cents a book to between 2.99 and 5.99. Ouch. They've already received a lot of complaints. Yeah. I mean, 89 cents was really cheap, so they were kind of ridiculous to have it so low and then raise it so much higher. I mean, if they would have gone up to like $1.49 and then slowly go up, maybe in another 6 months or something. But yeah, I mean, sometimes in a lot of cities, thrift stores like a Salvation Army or Goodwill or mom and pop stores are the only places where you can find books. There's just not that many bookstores, although there have been a resurgence the last couple of years of independent bookstores for sure, but still thrift stores get so many donated books that they usually have really large selections. So I don't know if that's them trying to take advantage of that, but unfortunately, if it's $2.99 for a book, $5.99 is a bit much unless you're gonna be able to sell it for a lot more money. Yeah, I don't really think about the buy box. I mean, I list it and then, list it at the price I think it'll sell, and then I reprice as I go. eBay, yeah. It says I like eBay because there are no restrictions on what you list, just hard if you're not using correct keywords. Yeah, I still am definitely not completely figured out eBay. I'm getting better, I think, but I definitely am gonna, I don't really fully get like the whole keyword situation. I mean, how many keywords do I need to do? How much research do I really need to do per item? I try to include keywords, but I'm just not a master of that. How did you get ungated for CDs on Amazon? Mike says it's 10 cents at the Salvation Army by me or free if you know the manager. Yeah, networking is big. I'm not really good at that, the networking thing, but so fortunately for me, I've gotten into bulk, so I don't have to go to the thrift store. I don't have to anyway. But anyway, so how did I get ungated? Who asked me that? Yeah, how did you get ungated for CDs on Amazon? So I was grandfathered in November 1st of 2016. They closed off the music I believe the entire music category, and they weren't accepting anybody. And I was already selling CDs, so I was, grandfathered in, I guess, and continued to sell. And after that, I think a year or so after that, maybe more, I think they started taking applications. Correct me if I'm wrong, and some people have been able to get in to sell CDs. Also, what happened is after that, they gated what they called or considered popular music titles, and no one could quite figure out what that meant. And some people were gated on certain music titles, and other ones they were not. So to this day, I don't know why Amazon closed or gated that category, and then why they gated certain titles. I'm not sure about that. But I was fortunately grandfathered in, so I'm still able to sell their CDs on Amazon. But it sucks, which is why when I talk about it on my videos, I feel bad for people that can't sell CDs because I'm talking about it. And, for me, it's been great because there's a lot of CDs out there, like there's a lot of books. There's definitely more books, but there's a great thing about CDs are they're small, they're lightweight, so they're cheaper to ship into Amazon, and they're cheaper for them to store and to ship out. So you save a little bit on fees and that type of thing. There's also just a lot of great ones to resell on Amazon. People buy CDs. Streaming has not gotten rid of, just like ebooks, and digital book readers that didn't get rid of books. It's the same thing with streaming and digital downloads. People still want to own music, as in a physical copy, beyond just a streaming service or a a file, MP3 file on their computer or on their phone or whatever. Um, so people still buy, they want to own it, whether it's a CD or whether it's vinyl. I haven't even talked about records, vinyl records. That's a huge category that if you can get access to, you can make a lot of money once you figure out what sells and what doesn't, which takes some time. But I sold a couple years ago, I sold a lot of records on Amazon. I kind of got out of it because I got into CDs. They were a lot easier to deal with in terms of size and time. But if you have the patience or already have the knowledge about what sells, then yeah, try out records as well. You can try listing on Facebook, Craigslist, OfferUp, Let Go. Yeah, garage sales. Every time I've been to local thrift stores, I have a hard time finding good books to resell, but every other CD I could make 5 to 8. I've not looked into Newegg. I don't know what that is. So I found the same thing when it came to places like Goodwill. Really wasn't worth it for me to look up books because they sell online on Amazon. And then I would start, this was like, I don't know, a couple of years ago before I got into bulk really, I would look up CDs and I would always find some good ones at thrift stores because most resellers that go in there are not looking at CDs, and also Goodwill's not focusing on the CDs, so they're not taking out the good ones to resell them on Amazon. Yeah, 1 second. So if you can get access to selling CDs on Amazon, it's really definitely worth it. But if you can't get ungated, then I mean that sucks. But don't give up on CDs because there's some great stuff. There's CDs that sell really well on eBay. I mean, I've sold some CDs for good money. Many CDs over $20-$30. I've sold CDs as much as like $60 on eBay, and those are usually really more rare stuff. There's not that many copies. Collectors tend to go on there looking for things like that. Some go on to, some are good to sell on Amazon, but if you can't sell it, then definitely look into eBay. Oh, yeah, I don't know. What was that? I forgot the name of it. There was a company people were talking about where you can buy new CDs, get an invoice and submit it. I don't know if anybody on here knows. Please let him know, Brian know. I'm trying to remember the name of the company. I don't know if it still works though. And if anybody knows, leave it in the comments below. Oh, what was the name of that? I can't remember. Sorry, Brian. But there was a company that people were buying from and trying to get ungated. I'm not sure if it was working. Unfortunately, I just don't know because I haven't had to get ungated, so I haven't gone through that process. Yeah, I feel bad not being able to give you that information, but yeah. So if you guys don't have any other questions or comments, I'm probably gonna let's see. There was one like Mountain Ridge Entertainment or something that would try to help you with the gating process on Amazon. Yeah, look that up. Chris asked, do you have a CD? Oh shoot. Do you have a CD cleaning machine? Yeah, I have an Eco Pro Plus, I believe it's called. Oh man, hold on. I bought it. This is okay. I bought it. It's been maybe a year and a half ago. They're expensive. I mean, and I don't even have the fanciest one. It just does one CD at a time. It takes 30 seconds per CD, and it has this special liquid, and then it uses water, and it has a time card. It has 800 minutes on the card, so I'm almost down to 0. I have to buy a whole new one. Not a machine, but a whole new time card and the liquid. So yeah, Chris, I do have one at home. I've used it a lot. Although I will say that in terms of CDs, most of them do not need resurfacing. Most of them are, what do you call it? They're in good condition. They don't have scratches. The other thing is the one that I have, if it's a deep scratch, it's not really going to get it out. It's mostly just that kind of like minor surface scratches and wear that's not really a deep groove in the disc. If it's a deep groove, they have there's other more expensive CD resurfacers than the one I have that cost like several $1,000s. I bought mine for like $900. It's a company. It's called Eco Pro, I think. Oh, it's fine. Thank you for coming out. Passion for vintage online reseller. And then yeah, so I do have a CD resurfacing machine, and I do use it. I have a stack of stuff, DVDs I need to resurface now. It reminds me I have to order another card. The Masonator is the area outside your storage unit. It's paved. It's paved, see? Here, hold on. See? So, and they just pull up and they pull up around the corner there because it's they pull up like over here so that they can. The problem is it's not completely flat, so they have to put the what the heck's that called? The lift gate down, and if it's not flat enough, then they won't be able to put it down, and so they have to do it kind of over here, and then he brings it around and puts it in the storage unit. I take out those, I take out the ones that he's gonna take back first to make the room, and then he just puts them in for me. It's pretty simple. It takes like 10 minutes or whatever. Oh, they're not paved. Huh. I don't know where you live. I live in Southern California, not in like LA, but I live like further east. But yeah, there's a lot of storage facilities where I live, but I live in a really highly populated area. There's a lot of them around here because there's just a lot of people. I live in LA County, and that's like 9 million people, but I live on the outskirts of it. So yeah, there's a lot of those types of places here. Within 20 minutes. Okay. Yeah, everybody's different. Everybody has different, lives in different areas in the country, and it's gonna vary, right? Michael asked me if he comes across classical CDs. Some do. I would say most do not. Most that I come across end up in my classical music boxes that I'm going to resell on eBay or keep to put in a store eventually. Most of them, there's just so many classical CDs, but I will say that some of them do really well in lots on eBay. So if you have the patience and time and want to put into that, if you have access to cheap CDs, then that's worth it. There's some individual classical titles that will sell on Amazon, but most of them, honestly, I don't find that many in my experience. I'm paying $384 a month, Lynn. So from what I've heard, that's more expensive than like other parts of the country, but that makes sense. I've heard people paying like less than $200 for the similar size, but that's just not what it costs around here. Yeah. So I'm gonna take off, guys. I gotta go home because I gotta pick up my daughter at 1 from school. So I've got to put in some time this morning to take some photos and list as many of these DVDs as I can before I get my next shipment on Friday of fresh books and CDs, which I'm excited about. I'll do the CDs first, and then I'll get into the books. and I'll probably make a video, I don't know, at some point. The problem is I can't make the video with my phone because I'm using my phone when I'm actually scanning. All right, thank you. All right, guys, so thank you for the thumbs up, the 6 thumbs up. That's awesome. If you can give me a thumbs up, it would be really helpful. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe. Absolutely, you guys are welcome. I enjoy making the videos and chatting. I don't make them as often as I would like, but I try to make them when I can. All right, guys. Well, keep booking, and hopefully, you guys have a great day.